Are you someone who embraces difference, or do you shy away from it? If you're someone like me and you're interested in growing and developing yourself, you understand the importance of surrounding yourself with people who are different, who think different, who look at the world differently, and who have a different response than you have to the hot topics of the day. My name is Paul Lemire. I'm with Lemire Leadership Solutions, and this is your leadership lesson of the week. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who are not like us. And that's an interesting topic for where we find ourselves today as a society of this extreme polarization, where society wants us to choose one side or another. They've taken the gray out of everything and made everything very black and white. And if you don't choose one side, then this is who you are. If you don't choose this side, this is who you are. And I want to encourage you not to fall prey to this polarization. It's very dangerous. What it stems from, in my opinion, is the idea of equality. In our pursuit of making sure people are being treated equal and they have the same rights as everyone else, we have forgotten the importance of difference. In our pursuit to make sure everything is fair, we've forgotten that fair is not always equal. It's what's right. As an educator, there were times that I needed to modify my curriculum and my content for a specific student. There were times that I needed to accommodate them with certain things that would help them to grasp the content that I was bringing forth in a way that fit them, their personality, their learning style. There were so many different aspects that I needed to look at in order to be an effective educator. And as a leader, it's the same way. We all have different strengths, different personalities, different ways of looking at life. We have different experiences that have shaped our view of these things. Good leaders understand the importance of healthy conflict. I want to step back for a minute and I want to talk about some things that I believe need to be in place in order for healthy conflict to happen. In order for an environment of diversity and trust, psychological trust in that to be established, I believe that we need to have a mission in place. That's our why. Why are we doing what we're doing as an organization? We need to have our vision in place. That's the what. What are we doing here? What's the big picture that we're trying to get to? And then we need to have our values in place and agree on those values. This, and this are what our company represents. These are the how. People don't understand that more important than a vision is how we're going to get to that vision. Because if there's a values disalignment, you could find yourself in a place where you're going against your own conscience, and it's not a fun place to be. You're trying to fit into a mold where we're going after this vision in a way that just does not fit how you're wired and your morals and your values and your ethics. So those things I believe need to be in place, and once they're in place, that allows us to come around a table and to discuss some problems and some potential solutions in a way that we can embrace that healthy conflict. Now, it takes some maturity on the part of understanding relationships. We're doing this for the betterment of our organization, but we're also doing it for the betterment of ourselves as a team. We're collaborating, we're coming together to build on these relationships. And we're creating such an atmosphere where we're not afraid to say, I like that idea. What about this, though? Have you considered this? This is what I'm seeing. And sometimes those kinds of situations, they can make us squirm. And those are not comfortable situations. But I want to encourage you to lean into those, because that's where the real growth is going to happen. I've got a buddy I like to go hiking with. Him and I see a bit differently. I'm more on the conservative side. He's more on the liberal side. But what makes it so enjoyable to be together is we're both very open-minded. We are not judging. We are not trying to convince one another. We are simply talking about our vision, our desire to transform our communities. And possible solutions to it, possible root issues and causes that are creating the issues that we're trying to figure out for the good of our communities. And it's always an edifying situation. We don't always agree. And we go into it knowing that we're typically not going to change each other's minds on these things, but we also go listening to some opinions and some views and some experiences that we wouldn't have had otherwise, because we're not going to put ourselves into that naturally the way that we're wired. I want to encourage you today, if being around people who are different is a scary thing for you, start with one person. Start with someone who is not going to try to change you, but enjoys just having deep conversation. And have a conversation with them. Talk to them about what you're trying to nurture and establish, and finding out what they want to do. I can't tell you how many times people just don't know how to take me. They know I'm different, and they understand that the things that I bring forth are valuable. And they try to come out in a way, they say things like this, no offense, but we really need people who see things differently and who bring a different angle in. As though my angle might be a little bit strange or out there. That's okay. But what they are starting to recognize is, even though it's a little bit different and out there compared to the norm, they're recognizing the value in it. You carry value that the world needs. And if you don't share it, you don't put yourselves in environments where your opinion is valued, and in environments where you can value the opinions of others that are different than yours, you're not going to grow, and you're not going to be able to release what you carry. We'll see you next week.